2014, India achieved something that captured the world's imagination. While other nations had spent billions reaching the red planet ISRO, the Indian Space Research Organisation managed to send a probe into Mars's orbit on its very first attempt, and did so for only $66 million. That's less than the cost of many Hollywood movies. This mission, called Mangalyaan, or the Mars Orbiter mission, was a milestone. It made India the first Asian country to reach Mars and the first space agency in the world to succeed on its very first try. But beyond the headlines, what did this spacecraft actually do once it arrived? What did it see, and how did it expand our view of Mars? Let's take a journey together and uncover the story of Mangalyaan's discoveries. Mangalyaan, launched in 2013, carried by an ISRO rocket designed mainly to place satellites into Earth's orbit. The rocket alone didn't have enough power to send the spacecraft all the way to Mars, so Mangalyaan had to rely on its own engines, gradually building speed over several loops around Earth before finally breaking free and heading outward to its destination. When it arrived at Mars, the spacecraft was placed into a highly elliptical orbit. At its closest, it skimmed just 420 kilometers above the Martian surface. At its farthest, it drifted nearly 80,000 kilometers away. This unusual orbit gave Mangalyaan a very different vantage point compared to NASA's Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter, which stays close to the surface for detailed high-resolution imaging. While NASA's spacecraft could zoom in on small details, Mangalyaan was designed as more of a technology demonstrator, testing India's ability to operate far from Earth. Still, it carried scientific instruments, especially to study Mars's upper atmosphere. And importantly for us, it also carried a simple color camera, one that would show Mars as we would see it with our own eyes. Because of its wide elliptical orbit, Mangalyaan often captured Mars in full view like a giant red marble hanging in space. These images were true color, showing the planet just as a human observer would see it. From this distance, Mars revealed itself as a strikingly beautiful world. White ice caps of carbon dioxide and water gleamed at the poles. Shades of red-orange and brown rocks spread across its deserts, broken by lighter patches of dust and darker stretches of ancient lava. Craters of every size pocked the surface, a record of billions of years of impacts. Even from afar, Mars' most dramatic features stood out. Enormous shield volcanoes towered above the plains. Vast canyons scarred the crust, and sometimes the calm was broken by massive dust storms so large they could engulf entire hemispheres and last for weeks. Have you ever imagined what it would be like to stand on Mars during one of these storms, watching the sky darken as sunlight fades for rovers like Spirit and Opportunity? Such storms were not just beautiful, but life-threatening, cutting off the solar power they depended on. Mangalyaan's images also revealed subtle but fascinating details in Mars's atmosphere. Thin as it is, the air on Mars can still form clouds. Over the great volcanoes, like Olympus Mons, orographic clouds appeared, wisps of water ice shaped by air rising and cooling as it moved across high terrain. Zooming in closer, Mangalyaan captured the dramatic landscape around these volcanoes. Trenches called fossae stretched out from their bases, created when the crust cracked under the enormous weight of the mountains. Some of these faults sank to depths of up to 5 kilometers. And in one image, the spacecraft caught something unexpected: the dark twisting shadow of a dust devil stretching across the Martian ground. Once you notice one, you begin to see several long winding shapes carved into the surface by columns of whirling dust. Later, Mangalyaan would also capture clouds forming over Olympus Mons, the tallest volcano in the solar system. 3 times the height of Everest and 600 kilometers across Olympus Mons is so massive that it dominates the horizon, even from hundreds of kilometers above. ancient lava flows spill outward from its flanks, frozen in time. Looking farther across the Martian surface, Mangalyaan revealed landscapes that seem almost alien in their complexity. North of Olympus Mons lies a region called Noctis Labyrinthus, a maze of fractured valleys thought to have formed when underground magma chambers collapsed. Connected to this labyrinth is one of Mars's most famous landmarks, Valles Marineris, a canyon system 4,000 kilometres long, so vast it could stretch across the entire United States. From orbit, wisps of water, ice fog can sometimes be seen pooling inside the chasm. Outflow channels from Valles Marineris stretch eastward, feeding into chaotic regions of broken terrain. Many scientists believe these once carried water into a long-vanished ocean that may have covered parts of Mars's northern hemisphere. Elsewhere, enormous outflow channels such as Casey Valles and Ares Valles tell stories of catastrophic flooding. These features are far too wide to have been carved by gentle rivers. Instead, they suggest massive bursts of water, or perhaps glaciers scouring the land in Mars's distant past. Through Mangalyaan's lens, we are reminded that Mars was once a far more dynamic world where liquid water shaped landscapes on a grand scale. Among the more puzzling sights captured by Mangalyaan is a structure called Orcus Patera. This elongated depression stretches 380 kilometres, but it's shallow, only about 500 metres deep, and oddly shaped, unlike typical impact craters which are usually circular. Its origin remains a mystery. Was it formed by a highly oblique meteor strike? Was it the result of volcanic activity, or something else entirely? To this day, no theory has fully explained it. Orcus Patera stands as a reminder that Mars still holds secrets waiting to be solved. Beyond the surface, Mangalyaan also gave us glimpses of Mars's delicate atmosphere. Some images, taken at oblique angles, show thin cloud layers stretching high above the planet. And in a particularly striking view, Mars's small moon, Phobos, appears against the backdrop of the planet itself, a tiny lopsided companion casting its shadow as it races across the sky. Even Mars's winds left their mark. From orbit, Mangalyaan could see trails of dust shaped by steady breezes diverted by craters and obstacles. These patterns told us not just about the present-day climate of Mars, but also about its consistency over time. By capturing Mars from such a high orbit, Mangalyaan gave us a perspective different from NASA's close-up cameras. Where those reveal fine details, Mangalyaan allowed us to step back and see the red planet in its entirety, its sweeping landscapes, colossal structures, and atmospheric phenomena all at once. Both views are essential. Together, they build a richer, fuller picture of Mars and remind us that exploration is most powerful when approached from many angles. From vast valleys and towering volcanoes to mysterious craters and swirling dust storms, Mangalyaan revealed Mars as a world both beautiful and strange. For India, it was more than just a mission of science. It was a demonstration that space exploration is possible on modest budgets, and that humanity's reach across the solar system is not limited to a few nations. We are left with a lesson. Sometimes stepping back gives us the most breathtaking perspective. Mangalyaan showed us Mars as a whole, and in doing so reminded us that space is not the domain of one country, but of all of us. If you enjoyed this journey, make sure to subscribe to Cosmic Compass for more explorations of the cosmos. Together, let's keep asking questions, keep searching for answers, and keep looking up, because the universe is waiting.